name is Andrea, and I am the Director of Development at Brass for Africa, a charity with a mission to transform the lives of extremely disadvantaged children and young people through music across Uganda, Rwanda, and Liberia. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what we do and how we do it, but first, let me explain why we do this. So I am from Spain, and we're in Botswana, and I'm sure that between all of us here today, we come from very, very different parts of the world. And the fact is, it doesn't matter where you come from, because wherever you come from, you have the right to opportunity. You have the right to dream, to aspire, to feel loved and respected as equals. And that's where music comes in. It's this incredibly powerful tool that doesn't discriminate against race, age, gender, ability, disability, socioeconomic status. And at Brass for Africa, we don't only believe, but we know that it creates brighter futures. Today, our charity works with over 1,500 children and young people from disadvantaged backgrounds, and we provide them with music education, life skills training, and performance opportunities. Perhaps one of the things that makes us unique is that all of our teachers, all of them, actually were once the students, and they come from the exact same backgrounds as our participants. In fact, Brass for Africa is 98% African-led, and that's the only way that this should work. The young people that we work with are those who've fallen through the cracks of society. Refugees, street children, children with disabilities, girls who have had to become mothers before they've had a chance to grow up. In Uganda, 55% of the population are under the age of 18, and by that age, 1 in every 2 girls are already married. It's a very, very difficult environment to grow up in, let alone thrive in, if you don't have an opportunity. So why music, right? Why not building wells or providing infrastructure? And don't get me wrong, those things are vital and so important, and there are many companies and organizations that do this brilliantly. But what happens after that? I mean, would you and I be here today if we hadn't received an opportunity? If someone hadn't believed in us? And that's the thing. Life is much more than just survival. It's about flourishing as a human being and feeling empowered. And every single musician, artist, athlete in this room will back me up on this. And in fact, the president was saying it earlier. Sports, acting, the arts, music is more than just those things. Music is much more than learning music, because it's about the skills that you learn when you learn to play that instrument. Confidence. You need confidence to come up on stage and perform in front of an audience. Communication, teamwork. You need to work collaboratively with your band, with your orchestra, whatever it is. Resilience, perseverance. Keep showing up, keep training. Might not happen today, might happen tomorrow. And so at Brass for Africa, our USP, if you like, is that we've created this completely new and exciting and relevant curriculum that's all about teaching life skills, 8 key skills through music, so that our participants can then apply them to their everyday lives. Let me tell you a story. During the pandemic, as we know, there was a huge rise in gender-based violence. And one of the girls in our programs was actually being abused by her uncle at home. And she reported it to the police. And a couple of weeks later, she came to us, to Brass for Africa, and she said that had it not been for the skills that she had learned in her music lesson, particularly confidence and communication, she would have never had the strength to speak up. And that's how powerful it can be. Music, life skills, transforms lives, saves lives. But the impact doesn't just stop there. It ripples and it just transforms families, communities, and societies at large. And in line with the UN Sustainable Goals, we also focus our work on 4 main key pillars. 1, gender equality. We've talked about this today. In many of the communities where we work, girls and young women are oppressed and they have faced historical discrimination. But in our music lessons from a young age, boys and girls learn to perform, to compete, to grow as equals, challenging misconceptions. 2, disability inclusion, providing an equal voice to those with disabilities who are so often misunderstood and neglected. But we believe that everyone has an ability. 3, workforce readiness. We've talked about this today as well. In Uganda, youth unemployment rate stands at 70%. And so what we do is we support the young people we work with to take on that next challenge in life. As I said, 95% of Brass for Africa is African, and all of our teachers have come from the programs themselves. Our management team have come from our programs themselves, most of them. And that's the way it should be. And finally, community empowerment, empowering communities and their leaders with their targets and their missions. For example, right now we're working with the UNHCR in Bidi Bidi refugee settlement, the second largest refugee settlement in the world, hosting 250,000 refugees, mostly girls and young children. The refugees that have fleeing the war from South Sudan, and so we're tackling issues such as suicidal ideation, psychological distress, and gender-based violence through music with the United Nations. So all in all, I hope that you can see how incredible this tool of music can be and how much it has completely changed and transformed the lives of the children and young people that we work with. It has taken them out of the streets and into a path filled with hope, direction, purpose. It has allowed them to travel to places they would have never been able to go had it not been for music. Recently to the UK, this summer to Switzerland, Germany, the Netherlands. It has allowed them to gain financial independence and freedom to support themselves and their families, either through us working with Brass for Africa or pursuing dreams elsewhere. I mean, one of them has just finished his law degree, 4 of them are employed in the UK as professional musicians. The possibilities are really endless. So I guess my point today is that, you know, this is the power of music, but also this is actually the power of human beings who have found something that has allowed them to believe in themselves, to feel empowered. Music has given these young people a voice, and now they can be heard. Music has given these young people a purpose, and now they have a reason to wake up every morning. And most importantly, music has given these young people an opportunity. And it is through that opportunity that they are now learning the skills to feel empowered and to fulfill their potential and thrive. You don't have to take my word for it, because today I actually have a really, really special surprise for you.
My name is Sumayya. I'm a music and life skills teacher at Brass for Africa. I play a B-flat tuba, and I'm from Kampala, Uganda, and I live in Katwe. Katwe is one of the biggest slum areas in Uganda. And a girl to grow up in there, it's really tough, but for my case, I chose music. You know, in our country, mostly girls are not believed in, but I chose music because I knew that there is a bright future in music. And this is what I'm teaching to my students. Every time when they come to me and they tell me, teacher, you know what? My mom, my dad, the community, they're telling me to give up. I tell them giving up is not a solution. It's just putting you down. Every time I tell them how hard it has been for me, because I used to go for music lessons, but I used to hide, because I knew when my dad knows that I'm going there, I have to come back and being wagged all the time. But I'm proud of myself now because I'm a teacher and I inspire most of my students. It's all because of music, and it's the power of music. Music can be used to create brighter futures for everyone. And I'm so proud of myself now. Thank you so much for listening to me.